Record. Okay. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Alpha Outdoor Specialties. I am Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
Yeah. It's a little toasty in here today. Got too many sweatshirts over there.
Yeah, we've got all our swag is coming in. Is swag the proper word to use?
If you're a tool bag, go ahead.
Okay, so we have hoodies and shirts have come in, and I had about 11 boxes come in opening day at dove season and opening weekend, so I'm letting the girls put them in here. So this has become a studio and a
storage room all of a sudden.
But tomorrow they're going to get them all put out. So if you want swag, go to Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, go to shop and go to their store. We got all kinds of stuff, got new products coming out. Speaking of good people today, the second smartest guy on this podcast today from Maryland via, where the hell are you at right now anyways? Florida? Where are you? Maryland? Delaware? Where are you at?
I'm in Maryland. I'm in Maryland.
The world's most unliked ghost caller in the world, my friend Trevor Shannahan. Hello, Trevor. How you doing?
How's it going, guys?
But the best dual threat, as per Corey Nickham. You heard that, right?
Yep.
Would you say that's
the only thing I'm the best
Would
at,
you say that's probably accurate, the best dual threat?
Yeah, from the standpoint of being able to do everything, like the Main Street style, so just take the Main Street style of duck, which is the ring and hails and everything, and then the open goose, but then also the meat and the live styles, and then mixing the two-man, yes. I'm not the best at any one of them. Probably my best would be Team Goose, just because I can work off of people so well. Having that reaction time from playing baseball and everything helps a little bit too, but also having a good ear. But yeah, I mean that's kind of being able to do everything. That's kind of my forte. That's really the only reason I've made money at it for so long, is because I can go to a contest and be in the top 3 of 4 different contests.
Right.
So you stack the money up that way.
Well, and if let's say you don't win one, you double and triple your odds by being able to compete in other contests. You're not just a one-trick pony that's putting all of his eggs on winning a goose contest.
Exactly. I mean, that's like I went to dive bomb and I made money and didn't win any of the contests that paid out money. I finished second in the duck and then third in the goose. But you stack those paychecks on top of each other, and you make a little bit of money.
I won more money than you did when I bought you in the Calcutta, so I made the money.
Yeah, I did not call worth of crap in that goose. I just got lucky that everybody except for Robbie and Mike called as poorly as I did. Or in a normal contest where everybody's on, I wouldn't even been top 5 in that contest. It was not very good. It was just a lucky day. In the duck, I put 3 good ones together. You put a different judging panel in there. I could have finished 7th place. I could have won the thing. I got lucky enough to finish 2nd place and took my $2,500 for it. So
nothing wrong with that. Now you have ruffled. You set the internet on fire about a month ago. You and Nickham did your Instagram live.
That was more Nickham. That was more Nickham's comments than mine. He's the one who got everybody. I mean, just me being on camera gets people pissed off. So yeah, I ruffled some feathers that way. But Nickum was Nickum, and you know, he might have got a little hyperbolic on some points that he was making. You know, trashing some guys where, you know, none of the guys that we were talking about were bad callers. You know, we were just giving our opinions on some people. You know, some of you know, the favorites that people, you know, have through the history of.
Do we want to reiterate any of this?
I don't know that we want to go back down that road.
I mean, well, I go back and look at it, and you know me, I got pretty thick skin, so stuff doesn't bother me too much. I went back and listened to it, and I thought it was great. You know, there was one or two things, you know, where Nickum got on a tangent and got going in on some people a little harder than I thought he needed to. But I mean, we were on it for, you know, like 2 hours. So, you know, for him to only say two things that I kind of thought could have been reeled back in 2 hours, you know, I didn't think was bad. But I mean, we basically did overrated and underrated callers of history, and you know, some of the good things and bad things about guiding, about the waterfowl industry as a whole. You know, and you know, both of us are pretty opinionated, so you know, it was bound to ruffle some feathers. I knew it would. I mean, that was kind of part of the point of doing it, but it is what it is. It's in the past. Some people hated it. Some people loved it.
Did you know that you were going to talk about that before you started recording with Nickum, or was that something that just kind of came up organically? Because let's be honest. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Y'all's conversation is not. I mean, that's something that happens when you're just sitting around at a bar having a couple beers. You start talking about a list, and I mean, you know, the only thing you guys did wrong was you did it for the world to see. But that conversation happens. And to say it doesn't is a lie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the reason why we did it was because they'd actually recorded a podcast about it with Nickum and some other guys before Squad Fest. And you know, what Nickum told me was, you know, somebody said, "Oh, you guys should not post that," and they didn't. What I was told by after we did ours was, no, it was just like half of the podcast was predicting winners at Squad Fest, and we didn't get it out before Squad Fest, so, you know, we just figured we'd scratch it. But I mean, we went in knowing we were going to do, you know, most overrated callers all the time, and I was like, well, I don't want it to be 100% negative, so, you know, be thinking of some guys that you think are underrated too, you know, kind of give props to some guys that, you know, that their names don't come up when you're thinking of, like, you know, that specific type of call.
Right.
All right. Let me ask the question for the people that want to know.
Uh-oh.
Andy's looking at me. Who is the most underrated caller of all time? Jeff Stanfield. We didn't know that.
Ooh.
You saw my picture with me and my prize money at Squad Fest. So,
I tell you what, I will answer that real quickly. I think John David Stanley, just as an all-around caller, is probably one of the most underrated callers out there. Like, you know, now that I've had time to think about it and everything, you know, he can do everything and do it well. He's, you know, had top finishes in both world contests. So, and I just don't think, you know, when people start talking about the all-time greats, that his name really gets thrown around a lot, and it probably should more often than it does.
Is that just because he's just had top place finishes? Because what has he won? What titles has he won? I feel bad. He hunts in the same
I think
area.
He finished second. I mean, he's won a lot of stuff across the country. As far as world titles, he won some junior and intermediate world titles. He finished second at Worlds in Stuttgart twice, I think. I think he finished in the top 5 World Goose. You know, so I mean, he's just an all-around really good caller. I think more people know him on the duck side, but he's a hell of a goose caller too. And you know, he's, you know, done a lot of guiding down there in Texas too. And I mean, dude's a killer.
Yeah, we see him. We talk to him every day. Talk to him on the side of the road every single day. Okay, let's ask this question now. You ready for this? Andy's looking at me like, oh shit.
Yep.
Do you not want me to ask this? What do you think I'm going to ask him?
I don't know.
You don't know? So you want me to ask?
It's your show.
Well, Well, you're half the show, so this will only come from my half if anybody gets pissed off. Who is the most overrated goose caller of all time?
Oh. So before I had said, I think I said Wade Walling, and as far as like open goose, not just blowing a goose call. It was Wade Walling and Scott Trinan, which, I mean, they're both heck of goose callers. Scott's a really great live goose caller. Dude sounds just like a goose. But I was going purely from like the open style. But then when I started thinking about it more, in my head, I was like, well, the guy who wasn't like the greatest goose caller out there, and everybody thinks that he's this goose calling god. After we did it, it kind of came to me would be Jeff Boyle. And that's, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not a bad goose caller, but doesn't really, stack up there, especially compared to the other two guys that I mentioned, as far as skill wise.
And then but I mean, this is basically what you put out on the show. And then one of the Facebook groups just got caught on fire. I mean, it was visceral. How many, I would like to know your DM situation. Did you have a lot of guys crawling into your DM threatening to kick your ass?
I mean, most of what I got was positive. Corey got most of the negative stuff just because those people know that they can send me a negative message and it's not gonna bother me one bit. These are guys. Corey was the one getting a bunch of stuff, but Corey also said he started rattling off a list of names of big names in the industry that sent him a message saying that they loved it, and some of the guys actually really surprised me because it wouldn't have been guys that I would have thought would have liked that conversation that we were having.
Right. Yeah.
So it was a mix. I'd say it was probably 60% negative, 40% positive.
That's not too bad, Dan.
But the negatives are always going to be, the most vocal and the, out in the open.
Well, it's the one that stands out, and it's the one that people piggyback off of, I think, more than a positive comment. Like anything, you read any thread, if somebody puts like a negative little turd in the comment section, there's going to be 7 or 8 little trolls that are just right there with them, just piling it on. Whereas you get a positive comment and nobody seems to, that doesn't ever catch traction. The positive comments don't. It just doesn't.
Well,
it's the world we live in.
Yeah, we live in a negative world. But what I have found, because me and Andy have pissed a few thousand people off doing this podcast, safe to say, correct?
Yeah.
And over a lot of different subjects, a lot of things that you say that everybody finds that's causes a problem, it's visceral, whatever you want to say for it. Usually 90% of the people agree with that stance, or just too many of them are pussies and won't say nothing. And I'm not talking about this exactly, but just in life in general, usually when someone says something, they're just saying what a lot of other people think and nobody wants to say behind the deal.
Yeah, and I mean, in my case, it's the messenger more so than the message that people are disagreeing with.
Because people already have it out for you.
Yeah. They already dislike me, and sometimes the presentation is a little harsh, but I thought I kind of held back and explained myself on that podcast, but to call the podcast is an insult to podcast. It was just an Instagram live.
Right.
So,
and the calling world is a different world than any other world because it is the opinion of judges. It's not a clear-cut victory. It is somebody's opinion on that day. So, I mean, there's a lot of room for conversation and discussion. And and part of it was you were bringing your own biases into it and what a calling contest should be run like.
And you've got skin in the game. I mean,
right, but that's what makes this different than anything else is it's the opinion of somebody else.
Yep, and I mean, and that's kind of what we were getting at, when people wanted to go off and whatnot, and I was like, we were giving our opinions on an opinion-based game that we play.
Right.
You know, this is not a subjective, or it's not a, you know, it's not an objective sport that we're playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's completely subjective. It's up to the whims of the five guys behind the curtain that day. You know, and two or three different ones in the panel can completely change everything else. But we're giving our opinions based on our preferences. You know, and you know, that's all we were doing, and it's an opinion-based game. I mean, that's why I like shooting sporting clay so much. I either broke the target or I didn't.
Right.
You know, there's nobody, you know, judging it, you know, per se.
In any sport out there that has an opinion, gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know shit about gymnastics, but I'm betting you that in gymnastics, from the Olympics to elementary school gymnastics, when you're getting someone's opinion to pick a winner, you're going to have someone bitching and griping all the time. There's nobody ever gets second in an opinionized deal that don't think they didn't win. Never. I don't give a shit what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, gymnastics, ice skating. I mean, that's kind of the way that that calling contests are set up. You know, you have Olympic style scoring. It's a 10-point scale. You drop the high and the low. You take the three middle ones. So it's trying to, you know, to take, you know, the potential for a little bit of bias out of there. You know, there's one difference between, you know, figure skating or gymnastics is the judges are actually watching you, where, you know, the judges can't see you in a calling contest. But, I mean, if you got guys like, you know, me or Corey or any of these, we know who everybody is just by sound. You know, it's like I'm sitting back in the bullpen. I don't even have to know who just walked out there. I know as soon as they hit their warm-up.
Right. How does that, because let's say you had to judge a contest, and how do you keep your personal biases out?
Some people don't. I mean, it's no secret that, you know, Corey and I have never really saw eye to eye on a lot of things, and it's better now than it used to be. But I mean, I remember when we were at each other's throats, and I'm back there judging, and I knew it was him, but he was the best caller in the contest. 8.
Right.
There it is. There's my score.
Yeah.
You know, for what I like, you know, I think that everybody should leave their, you know, their biases about a person, good or bad. Because buddy points are a lot more rampant than people cutting guys that they don't like. You know, and I just think personal biases should be left at the door. If you can't do it, you shouldn't judge. But if we did that, we'd have a lot of contests we wouldn't have enough judges for, or at least enough qualified judges.
Well, and I mean, just the buddy point system, like that's got to be a huge problem at some of these bigger contests.
Yep, I hate it. I've always hated it, but it's one of them things you just got to deal with. I've benefited from it, believe me. I know I've benefited from it in certain instances, and you know, and then I've lost. You know, I lost the world championship because of it. I know for a fact because the guy told me, well, you know, I thought you sounded as good or better than him, but you know, I've known him for 40-some years. You know, had to give him an extra point.
At the biggest fucking stage, how is that an acceptable answer?
Yeah, well, and that was kind of my opinion on it, but you know, it was somebody I respected, so I wasn't gonna get into it, you know, too much with them. But we've had, you know, I've had some knockdown, drag out, you know, straight up arguments about it with, you know, some people that I consider, you know, good buddies, and they see it their way and I see it my way, and you know, we weren't going to change each other's opinions about it. So
when did you and Corey mend the fences? Because I didn't know that you guys were cool with one another, and then you're winning the fucking dive bomb 2-man.
I mean, that came about just honestly to piss people off.
Oh, you did that?
Running the 2-man. Every time we've done it 3 times, and every time we've done it, it's just kind of been a last minute thing, and it's always been like, let's see what people think about this. You know, so the first time we did it was at Paducah, at that big money meat contest. I think Seth won. Me and Seth finished second, and me and Corey finished third. And then the next time we did it, next time we did it, it was last year at the Team World Live Ducks, and Corey and I finished second. We were actually winning it going into the third round, and then him and Mike Benjamin actually ended up jumping us, and so him and Mike Benjamin won. Him and I finished second. And then Todd Baum was, 2 days before the contest. He said, "If I can find someone to cover me to judge it, do you want to do it just to piss people off?" And we did it. And honestly, we shouldn't have won. I messed up really bad in the first round. The acoustics there weren't great, and in a two-man, you can honestly hide mistakes better in a two-man. He was facing towards the judges. I was facing away from them. They missed it. We were winning from the start. So, but we got to get away with them. Sometimes I won a world championship on a full-blown high tone first note of the routine in Easton, which has the best acoustics you'll ever recall, and one judge caught it. So sometimes you just get away with it.
So are y'all going to blow in Stuttgart together?
Well, there's no team down there.
There's no team there. Is it in Easton? Are y'all going to blow together in Easton?
I don't know. Maybe. It's usually I have so many freaking teams in that thing. That I kind of want to pare it down a little bit. Maybe keep it at 3 instead of I've done 5 before, I think. Which is more money for the contest, more chances for me to win. But the years I've done well, it's typically been the years that I only had 2 or 3 teams.
How many teams blow in that?
It just depends on who's there. I think there's been over 30 before, and then last year it was probably low to mid 20s.
What's that pay?
I think the teams usually pay $1,000 a person, plus a gun and a bunch. The prizes are awesome. Easton has some amazing sponsors that have continuously supported them. Yeti, Benchmade knives. I have a Benchmade knife from the first year that I won a world championship was 2010, and they've been every winner gets a knife for every single contest. They've been a great supporter. Yeti, I want to say, I know Bandit's been in it before as a sponsor. I think Sick has sponsored before. Benelli, Browning. They kind of go back and forth on who wants the gun sponsorship the most. I've won a bunch of Benelli from there. Last year I actually won a Benelli Super Black Eagle 3 for Champion of Champions, and then a Stoger for the Team Goose. But the prize packages are good. World Goose I think pays $7,500, and then the individual live contests pay $2,500 as far as cash prizes, and then they pay down through third or fifth depending on the contest.
So if you go and you win one of the big ones and then you win some of the smaller ones, you're walking away with a pretty good payday and some good shit to put in the safe.
Yep. I mean, I know one year I won 2 or 3 world championships in the same night, and I walked away with 10 grand, I think. Now it was a little less than 10 grand because it was the world championship, which at that point only was paying 5 grand. Then I think it was the 2 teams. But then, a bunch of Yeti coolers and guns and everything, shells. Boss has sponsored it in the past. That one year I think I won 2 cases of Boss shells. But
now, how many, you've had up to 5 teams there. Do you have more teams there or more fantasy football teams this year?
Oh, I have way more fantasy football teams.
How many you have?
So I do a lot of drafts just kind of as a strategy to see how different strategies will play out. I texted you the other night. I never do 0 RB. I never do an early stud quarterback. and I just wanted to see how it panned out, and like I said, I did not like the way that panned out. I felt really weak. I think I'm running with Devin Singletary as my RB1.
That's true. That's bad.
But I mean, I went back to back. I think I went Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs in the first 2 rounds, then rolled around and stacked Diggs with Josh Allen in the third. And might have got, I think, Kyle Pitts in the fourth, something like that. No, I can't remember what I did. I might have gone another wide receiver, but just didn't like the way it turned out. Last night, I've never done a salary cap draft, so I just kind of wanted to try that and tried it. It was fun. Made a few mistakes, learned a few things. If I ever do one in the future, know a little bit more of where I can find value later on. Overspent in a couple of places.
I'd like to do a live auction draft because I've done that in baseball before.
Salary cap draft now, Jeff.
Is that what they call it? Salary cap.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I didn't know the terminology you young flat-billed hat wearers wear.
Salary cap draft.
But
it's an auction draft.
It is
same thing,
but it's wrong terminology.
Excuse me, millennial. Anyways, I would like to do a football one. I've been in baseball ones and I really enjoyed it, and it was a keeper league, so you could really set your team up for 2 or 3 years. But we had our draft. I'm in more fantasy football leagues than I've ever been. Andy here, let me go ahead and tell you right now, just so the world can know this. Andy, there's no reason Andy doesn't win multiple leagues this year because he got A+ from CBS Sportsline. So we automatically are just going to cut him the check, and we're not playing this year.
That'd be fine with me. Leagues. That'd be fine with me. I was counting it up. So we're in a super flex draft, and we did it on Monday.
The big baller league, we call it. 9
quarterbacks in the first 12 picks. 15 in the first 24. Nice. By the time it got back to me, there was nothing left at quarterback. Luckily, I took Justin Herbert with my first pick. But I got Kamara with the second pick.
I didn't go running back in that draft. I mean, I didn't go quarterback.
And Justin Jefferson in the third. So I got Justin Herbert, Kamara, and Justin Jefferson with my first 3 picks. So I don't hate it.
Who's your
I went
Justin Fields, and I don't know about that. I mean, it's not terrible. If he stays healthy and produces, he can make points with his legs. And I want to say I got Kyle Pitts in that league too. So
I took Austin Eckler with my first pick. My second pick, I got to look up who I took.
No, I lied. I got Cole Kmet. I missed out on. I was going to take Kyle Pitts, and he got taken in front of me. I got Herbert, Zeke, Kamara, Lamb, Jefferson, Cole Kmet, and Fields. And then a scrub kicker and a defense.
How many teams?
12.
12 teams, 2 QB, super flex. That's not that long.
And then I got Gibson. He'll be good until bullet hole Brian Robinson comes back. So I might get a month out of Gibson being okay. And then Michael Thomas and Hunter Renfrow on the bench. So we'll see.
Well, I went big on my quarterbacks, so I ended up with Jared Goff as a quarterback, so that's why I'm just thrilled with that. But I have Dalvin Cook and Austin Eckler as my tailbacks.
The best.
I've got...
And that's great.
Now, this is where I hit the shit, though, quick. I've got Marquise Brown, who I cannot stand. I got
It's going to be great for the first
I'm going to need him to be so I can keep up with old A+ over here. And I got DK Metcalf. I've got DK Metcalf. I don't know why everybody's down on him. They're going to have to throw the ball. He can get open. He's a stud.
You got him in like a double-digit round.
Like the 10th round or some shit. And then I got Evan Ingram as my tight end. And I got Tua as a quarterback. I got Tua and Baker Mayfield are my 2 other quarterbacks. So I may not even start Jared Goff. I'm not big on Evan Ingram. I'll pick up another tight end, but I don't know what's going to happen in Jacksonville. The kid's got a lot of talent, and he's got Trevor Lawrence. They're going to be throwing the ball a bunch, so we'll see what happens. But I got Chris Godwin, and now he's playing this weekend, and he's starting, and I'm happy about that. I got Ramon.
Are you going to play him, though?
I may start him over Marquise Brown.
Well, I wouldn't.
No, don't do it.
And then I'm not playing him the first week. I'm going to set him the first week regardless to see what he does. But I took a chance, and I took Romeo Doubs from the Green Bay. One of those Green Bay wide receivers is going to be damn good. Aaron Rodgers is going to make one of them rich man.
Probably going to be Sammy Watkins.
Well,
could you imagine?
It could be. And Payne talked me into picking Jamal Williams. He thinks DeAndre Swift, he's the guy. And then I got Marquise Valdez-Scantling, who I do not like. But I do like Ramondre Stevenson, who's on my backup running back. So I really, here's where I screwed up, though. When I took Tua, I started to say, you know what, screw it. I'm already screwed on quarterbacks. I'm going to start one quarterback. And I almost took Saquon Barkley, and I would have had Cook, Eckler, and Saquon. And I wish I would have done that.
15 points or 15 points. It doesn't matter who you put there.
Well, when you got Jared Goff on your team, it's not really a lot to. And he was actually pretty good last year.
He's not going to get benched.
No shit, no. They suck with the backups.
I mean,
here's what I would say if you ever find yourself in that situation again, Jeff, is you got to look at potential value. If Saquon was just absolutely tearing it up, you could turn him into a lot better quarterback than you would be able to pick at that position. So you kind of have to look at it there. You might have to punt on a week or two, but if he's tearing it up, you can turn him into a better quarterback, because people are in super flex leagues a lot less likely to trade a quarterback. But if you're giving them great value, especially at the running back position, you could flip a Saquon for a mid level, maybe like a QB 14 or so. But I think golf might be sneaky too.
Who would have thought, though? I would have never thought that Dalvin Cook would be there at pick number 15. There's no way. I couldn't believe it. But all them quarterbacks just kept going and going and going. I thought, fuck, running back's the hardest position to have in football. You cannot get. There are not 12 starting number one running backs in the NFL anymore. Zeke Elliott is not one of them, because what's his name's going to get to play a lot? Pollard.
If you look at it, there's a team in this league. His starting running backs are A.J. Dillon and Javonte Williams. So, like, if Saquon,
that's actually, I like that.
If Saquon were to be good, though, you could probably move him for somebody on his team.
And I took a third
if
quarter.
Had a lot of guys,
and I was the first person to take 3 quarterbacks, and Baker Mayfield was my third quarterback. There's a guy that's going to be on a team to throw. He's got DJ Moore, who's a great wide receiver. They're going to throw the ball. They're going to throw the ball. He's going to dump it to McCaffrey as long as McCaffrey's healthy. Third quarterbacks are huge in that league, and those people I don't think they realize that. And Andy, Mr. A+ here, his goal was to get 3 quarterbacks in both leagues, and I don't think you did in either league, did you?
I didn't. There was too much value. My goal, especially so I picked 3. I picked third out of 12. And my goal was to get 2 quarterbacks in the first 3 rounds of that draft. Well, the quarterbacks went so fast, I got to looking who was there, and Kamara was staring at me, and then it got back to me in the third, and Justin Jefferson was staring at me. So, like,
you can't pass
I'm not going to pass. I mean, both of those guys, if Kamara doesn't get suspended, he's got a legit shot at being
He's a top 5 pick.
He could be top 5. He could be top 3. He could be the best running back in the league if McCaffrey gets hurt and Jonathan Taylor.
He's a legit top 5 guy, regardless.
Sure, and then Justin Jefferson could be the number 1 wide receiver in the league. So, I went with them.
I truly think that golf pick might actually end up being decent, because they have a great offensive line, very good offensive line, sneaky good, and then just lots of weapons. Amon-Ra St. Brown, DJ Shark, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams if Swift gets dinged up, Jameson Williams once he gets healthy off of that injury. I mean, they got some weapons there, so that's not a terrible pick.
Well, then our other league that we're in, which is our other 2 quarterback league, which is a Knox City-based team, I did a little bit different. I had the first pick in the draft, and I took Christian McCaffrey. Just hoping he don't get hurt, but I mean, what the hell? Anybody's liable to get hurt. But I ended up with McCaffrey and Damian Pierce of Houston, who I've gotten about 4 leagues. I really like that kid. And I have Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott for my quarterbacks, which I think I like both of them. And I got Scary Terry McLaurin and Jerry Jeudy for my starting wide receivers, and I got Cole Kmet. But I drafted Michael Gallup in the 13th round or something, and if he misses 2 games and comes in, if he comes back and he had an injury, an ACL, and it takes him a year to get over that, but if he comes back halfway solid, the way the Cowboys have to throw the ball, he's going to be a solid number 2 or 3 wide receiver for somebody.
Yeah, I'm just worried about Gallup because he's a little more of a deep threat, and their offensive line
horrible
is getting hurt and banged up. It's not nearly as good. It's not horrible, but it's not nearly as good as it used to be.
When you sign a 40-year-old Jason Peters that got cut by 2 teams last year, that's what you sign. That's bad. That tells you Eric Fisher is really hurt because he's 31 years old. He started for Indy last year and they tore his ACL at the end of football season, same as Michael Gallup did. And nobody's signing Eric Fisher. Well, that scares me for Michael Gallup too because that's a 2-year injury. They can say what they want to. You can come back after 1 year, but it takes 2 years to get fully over that.
Well, you just said you're going to start Godwin.
I'm going to start Godwin if after I watch him play one game. Some guys come back faster than others.
I have a lot of Godwin. I have a lot of Godwin this year. I mean, probably 3/4 of my teams have Godwin on him. Just getting way too much value. If he comes back and is even 3/4 of what he was last year, getting him in the 10th, 9th, 10th, 11th rounds that I've been getting him in, it was just too much value to pass up. Because I mean, if he comes back at 3/4 of what he was, he's still a top 10 wide receiver.
I guess I got him in two. I've got Godwin in 2 of the 4 that I'm in, so half. But yeah, I mean, like you said, if he hits, and especially like when you're looking at the 9th or 10th round, like nobody there has more upside than him. I mean, you're pretty much just hoping something sticks in that round. So why not take a guy that could be a gangbuster for you?
And I definitely, when I did that 0 RB, I reached a little bit for him. I think I took him in the 6th because I did a 14-team draft in that one, and it was, I reached a little bit on him, but I wanted to make sure that I had him just so that I was like, well, I'm going to be struggling to get 2 good running backs, so I want to make sure I have a good, flex play there later on in the season. But
I don't have the balls to do 0 RB.
I probably have them on 7 out of 10 or 11 teams that I have right now.
I don't have the balls to do 0 RB.
I'll tell you some players that didn't get drafted, and this is funny.
Which one? In which league?
In the big baller league with Mr. Logan Pyatt.
Mr. Juicy.
First of all, somebody drafted Zach Wilson. And
fuck yeah.
And he's not playing for the first 6 weeks now, they don't think. Joe Flacco is going to be there. So so somebody's got 2 quarterbacks and one of them's him, and he's not going to play for 6 weeks. Daniel Jones did not get drafted, which tells you the state of how good he probably is going to be.
In the big baller league?
No, Daniel Jones right there. I'm looking at it.
I know my first waiver wire pickup.
Rondell Moore at Arizona. Everybody's forgotten about him. He's going to be number 2 player there.
Oh.
I mean, they got a lot of speed. Geno Smith did not get drafted.
Did Drew Lock?
Kadarius Toney did not get drafted.
I did draft him, and I had to drop him because the draft was fucked up
because of 16 rounds. Chase Claypool. Garrett Wilson, the New York Jets, has the potential to be a big-time player, did not get drafted. And that really kind of surprised me. A lot of the other guys didn't. Jalen Tolbert, the Cowboys' 2nd wide receiver, did not get drafted. That tells you how bad he is.
I mean,
I've got him in a couple teams as a late round flyer.
McCole Hardman at Kansas City. Kansas City's got 27 receivers, it seems like, on their team.
They got Juju, they got MVS.
That's what I'm saying.
They're
everywhere.
Hardman sucks, though. I mean, if he hasn't figured it out by now, he's not going to.
All right, I'm gonna ask you some questions. Where are we at here? Because we got to do another pick too with you too.
What does it matter what we're at?
I just was curious. Dickhead.
Go
Don't
ahead.
be such an asshole.
Okay.
Who do you think your bold pick for NFL? Give me a bold pick, a prediction of sometimes. My bold prediction is the Kansas City Chiefs don't make the playoffs this year.
You stole Trevor's.
I've already said that, yeah. But Dolphins AFC Championship game.
Ooh, that is bold.
Jesus.
That's fucking real bold.
Yeah. Wow.
God almighty. Think you pissing people off the other day, boy. You're stepping right out of that. Wow.
They're winning 12 or 13 games this year. They'll be fighting the Bills for first in the division.
Ooh.
And maybe even home field.
Somebody right now is saying that motherfucker's drunk. that's a bold prediction. If you're gonna go, I tell you what,
That's all I had to drink right there.
I appreciate you being bold, though, because I get sick and tired of you watching the NFL. Your bold prediction. Well, I got the Cowboys beating the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. Well, that's really fucking stepping out there, Terry Bradshaw. I like that. That's bold. Andy, now watch. Andy is going to really disappoint everybody with his bold prediction. What is your bold prediction?
Let me see. I got to look at my teams. You put me on the spot here.
Oh, also, I have the Raiders winning the division and the Chiefs not making the playoffs.
Well, I'm with you on that.
I just don't think they can get past the Chargers. I do have the Chiefs not making it, and I've got the AFC West: Chargers, Raiders,
Broncos.
Chiefs.
Oh,
no, yeah, you're right. No, I've got them Chiefs, Broncos. I only think 2 is going to make it out of that division because 2 are going to. I mean, here's the deal: if Trevor's right, Buffalo's not going to miss the playoffs. So there's one of them's going to be your wild card team.
Well, I think it's going to be the wild card teams that I have in my mind are going to be the Raiders and the Broncos.
Here's my bold
and San Diego, the Chargers winning the division. What is your bold prediction?
My bold prediction is Cincinnati Bengals will not make the playoffs.
That doesn't surprise me if that happens.
Well, fuck. I'm sorry that it wasn't bold enough
No,
for
that's
you.
a bold. They were in the Super Bowl last year.
That's kind of what I thought.
That's a pretty bold pick. But Trevor's, he's walking on water bold predictions. I mean, Jesus. Miami win the AFC Championship game. That's big.
I said in it. I didn't say
I know, in it.
I don't have them going to the Super Bowl.
We're not on crack here. We're just drinking a little bit.
That defense is very good, although they did lose Byron Jones for the first few games of the season. And, I mean, he's just a shutdown corner. But and then the offensive talent, still worried about the offensive line a little bit, but they have helped it out some. I think the running game will be more creative than it has in the past, and they have a little more talent there now with Edmonds as kind of a little scat back, and then Mostert, if he can stay healthy and they only run him about 10 times a game, I think that dude can break a big play at any given time. So, and Mike McDaniel is coming from that Kyle Shanahan offense, and that everywhere they've gone, they have been able to run the ball. So I'll be curious to see. I just think there's too much talent down there for them not to succeed this year.
I'll give another prediction that's going to happen, or I think. Trey Lance is out by Game 6 as a starter for the 49ers.
That might happen.
And Derek Carr leads the NFL in passing yards this year.
That's not a stretch at all.
Oh, absolutely.
That's not a stretch at all. It's either going to be him or Kirk Cousins.
I'm pretty sure he's the betting favorite to lead the league in passing yards.
And I would say Hunter Renfrow leads the league in catches this year, but that's a lot of balls with the Devontae Adams there and Darren Waller being healthy. But Hunter Renfrow has got the makings of a 120 catch guy, 130 catch guy.
You're Welker.
Yep, same type of situation.
I don't think there's any way that. Now that I'm looking at it, I've got everything drawn out. I don't think there's a way that Cincinnati doesn't make the playoffs.
You think that Baltimore's going to win that division or Cincinnati?
I think Baltimore's going to win the division. They take 3 in the playoff or for the wild card, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got a team in the AFC East being a wild card team. A team in the West. No, I've got 2 teams. So I guess there is a path.
If a team from the East makes the playoffs, it's going to come down to the number 3 team in the AFC East. I don't think all the teams in the AFC West are going to get in the playoffs. I just don't see that happening.
No, not all 4.
I can't imagine their records being, because they're going to beat each other up.
Right.
But the AFC, the Colts should easily win the South. They should win the South pretty easy. That doesn't mean it'll happen, but they should.
Over Tennessee?
I think so. I think Tennessee's going to be struggling. I think the Colts would be the legit chance to win it. But either one of them though is going to lose 7 games, 8 games probably. Well, I don't think Pittsburgh has got the offense to win that division.
No.
And
it's going to be Baltimore.
I think it's going to be Baltimore, and I personally think it's going to be Buffalo is going to be standing by themselves in the East. I'm not bold predicting it over there, but it could happen. But I think it's going to be so it's going to come down to Cincinnati and one of them AFC West teams for that last playoff spot. I think in the NFC, I don't think the Rams. If Trey Lance turns out to be the quarterback he's supposed to be, then they have a chance to win the division. because they've got such good personnel. But I'm going to pick the Rams. I think Arizona's going to be I think Cliff Kingsbury gets fired after this season. I think they win 5 games.
What are you drinking?
Evan Williams, Solid and Bond.
Evan Williams. Saw that the other day. I didn't get it, though.
Hey, I looked up that stuff that you were talking about that
Blood
Chose
Oath?
likes. Yeah. It's just like $700 a bottle.
That's shit. I know. Calm down, Jeff.
Look it up.
I'll get us a deal.
You know,
maybe from no, I don't. Maybe from 2012.
I looked it up. It was $700 a bottle. I'm sure they have different variations of it. Yeah. They had about 20 different bottles, but you could spend a whole lot of money on it.
That's bourbon these days.
Yeah, I mean, something that's that rare. I mean, if you're getting it on the resale, the resale market, not the retail market. It'll rare bottles will easily go for that.
Well, this here was definitely on the internet market, like Wooden Cork or something. I don't know anybody working at Buffalo Trace like the guys that were getting the Pappy a couple years back.
No, but Wooden Cork, I looked at Wooden Cork the other day when you told me to get something, and Wooden Cork's marked way up.
It probably is.
Even just regular shit that's on there was almost double.
Well, to my friends that I've sent some stuff with Wooden Cork lately, I paid overpaid for it.
You did? Oh, you got took.
Well,
you got took, little guy.
No, that's the way it goes sometimes.
I tell you, your boys over at Looking Glass got me on this white label Evan Williams. It's my everyday sipper. 100 proof, nice and smooth, has a real good taste to it. I don't drink it neat. I put a couple cubes in it. I think it opens it up a little bit for me, but that's most bourbons for me. But it's like $20 for a fifth of it. So doesn't break the bank. Tastes really good. Goes down well.
Why is it frowned upon to drink Pappies with Coke?
God damn. God damn.
That just tells those memes. Tell me you're something without telling me you're something. Yeah. Our Pappy's bottle sitting next to a Coke bottle.
What's bad is you can laugh all you want to, but that's the way I would rather have my bourbon anyways, because I'm not a bourbon drinker. So I would like to have it with a splash of soda of some sort.
Just don't drink a whole glass.
I prefer ginger ale or even ginger beer.
Ooh, I'm not a ginger beer fan. I like ginger ale though.
I like mules.
If I'm gonna mix it with something, I always mix it with ginger ale. That's what it's.
Yeah, so I make Kentucky mules. So it'll be ginger beer, lime, and a little bit of aromatic bitters.
So you've got faith in Tua, evidently. Think he takes a big step forward?
Yeah. I think my thing is I think they put too much talent around him for him to fail.
Tyreek.
He's accurate. He came out of college and his talent around him, skill position wise, was better in college than what he came into the NFL with. He's been playing with less talented people than he did in college, which blows my mind because that doesn't happen very often.
You can say that about every Alabama quarterback for the last 10 years, though.
No. Mac Jones for sure. He went into no talent whatsoever.
What about Jalen Hurts? What about every one of them, though, played with more talent in Alabama than did the NFL team they went to? You can go back a long time. Derrick Henry is a tailback. Alvin Kamara is a tailback. I mean, they've had running backs.
I thought he went to Tennessee.
After he couldn't make it at fucking Alabama, he went to Tennessee. He started out at Alabama and transferred to Tennessee. But you look at the wide receiver room there, and that's the same at Ohio State. At least Alabama quarterbacks have at least done decent in the. Nobody from Ohio State's won a game in the NFL since Art Schlichter left.
Alabama quarterbacks are notorious for being terrible NFL quarterbacks.
Oh, name one Ohio State one that's better. Kirk Herbstreit, Brian Hoyer.
Well, I'm not talking about.
No, but I'm just saying Alabama quarterbacks have had.
Brian Hoyer's had a better career than any Alabama quarterback had.
Well, he's been playing longer. He didn't win any more games. Joe Namath won more games than Brian Hoyer did, probably, but Brian Hoyer played for 27 years. But who in the NFL from Ohio State as a quarterback or Alabama? Right now, though, we got 3 starters from Alabama in there that I can think of.
Yeah, but they're not any good.
Jalen Hurts is going to be pretty good, but people from Oklahoma say he's from Oklahoma now. So they don't know who they got.
Jalen Hurts is going to be a good fantasy quarterback. He's not going to be a good NFL quarterback.
Lamar Jackson, number 2, then.
Yeah, but I mean, Lamar Jackson can actually win. I'm not a Lamar fan, but he can actually win them some games. I think Tua has the potential to be the best just because he is the best pure passer out of really any of those Alabama guys that have come out recently. I'm not a huge fan of Mac Jones. I don't think the Patriots have a winning season this
Lamar
year.
Jackson cannot win a game when it gets to January. He just can't do it. He's not a January quarterback. A lot of talent,
Yeah.
a lot of talent. He's just like Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's going to be damn good until the chips are on the table and teams start playing defense. And it sounds like Kyler Murray don't like to watch film either. Alabama quarterbacks, is that what you're looking up, Andy?
Yeah.
Tua, Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts.
Which I don't consider Jalen Hurts.
You consider him Oklahoma?
He's Oklahoma.
Okay, you don't consider him that?
No, I do. He's Oklahoma.
Okay,
He's Sooner.
But
AJ McCarron, Blake Sims, Greg McElroy.
Yeah, they're none. Until you go back to Joe Namath or Ken Stabler. I mean, it's going to go way back to find one that was worth the shit.
Mike Shula.
Yeah, he was a big name one. That's what I'm saying. There's not none.
Same with Ohio State, though. I mean, they get by on their
Bart Starr.
On their linebackers, their defensive linemen, their wide receivers, running backs. That's what Alabama and Ohio State have always gotten by on.
Every place except quarterback. Both schools. That's why what's funny, both quarterbacks now.
They recruit good college quarterbacks is what they're trying. They're trying to win college games. They don't. They don't care whether their quarterbacks produce in the NFL. They're trying to win championships in college.
Right now, Alabama's quarterbacks are ranked 1 and 2, and I'm telling you right now, you take either one of them, and you probably might as well just throw your pick out the window. Take a defensive end from Alabama if you're going to do that, or somebody else. Texas Tech's defensive end I would take before them guys.
Bryce Young looks pretty good, but I'd probably be looking at someone like Quinn Ewers. But that's going to be that's 2 more years.
Yeah.
I think.
He's just he's a redshirt freshman, isn't he? Quinn?
Alabama is going to beat the brakes off Texas on Saturday.
I am so ready for Saturday. I cannot tell you.
Why?
Because I want to see what Quinn Ewers has. I didn't get to watch him last week.
So you want to see Texas get beat?
No, I didn't say that. I want to watch Quinn Ewers play.
Well, that's okay. We can listen to this shit all the time. Texas Tech's playing Murray State this weekend or somebody again.
I want to watch. I didn't get to watch Quinn Ewers last week. I want to see what the kid has. I'm excited about it. That's all I'm in.
He didn't look great last week.
The line is 22.
Poor guy got his car towed.
22?
22 is the line. Alabama's favored by 22. And if I was betting, I'd be betting Roll Tide, and I'm a Texas guy.
Man, that's a big line. Texas finds it in them to play well in those big games.
Well, I'll bet you.
Maybe not win them, but play up to they play to their competition.
Well, I'll bet you my Calcutta money that Texas loses by more than 22.
Where are they playing?
It wouldn't matter if they were playing in the Winn-Dixie parking lot. Alabama's going to beat their ass. I think they're playing
in Alabama.
I thought they was playing in Austin. They're playing in Bama.
Oh,
They have 42 points. It ought to be the line.
I thought they were in Bama.
It don't matter where they play at.
I can't believe it's 22 points. I'm looking at it. I'm gonna verify.
I mean, I'm a Texas fan, but
Texas is unranked.
I don't think they're going to beat Alabama.
Texas has a guy on their team that probably will be the best player drafted next year if he stays healthy. Is that Bijan Robinson, that tailback? He's an NFL ready to be a star. And he will be a first-round pick, and running backs are not going to be first-round picks much anymore.
It is 20 points, not 22.
It's 22 unless they changed it this morning.
It says 20 right here.
Well, it was 22 earlier.
That was yesterday, so it
depends which booking place you're looking at.
That's Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, sure.
So
well, the Westgate or whatever it is will change it as the money line goes. But 22 is big. 20 is not as bad, but 22 is over 3 touchdowns. But man, I have no faith in Texas is playing defense anymore. And the whole state of Texas, we can't find a motherfucker that can tackle. At all. We can't throw nobody that can throw the ball to that's not to the other team in crunch times. We beat the brakes off Oklahoma last year and still got beat.
So I got a question for you because you guys are from Texas. Which school in Texas has the most oil money?
University of Texas and A&M both, because they share a fund called the Governor's Fund or something, and they both get a huge amount of money. I don't know how much it is. Texas has.
I'm talking from individuals.
You talking about donors?
It would be SMU then.
No, yeah, from alumni.
No, it's Texas has the biggest endowment now. They just passed Harvard. It's the biggest endowment.
Okay. Give it Give it 5 years with NIL. Texas will be back.
They just paid $13 million to get Quinn Ewers to play quarterback for a couple of years. They've got the money.
Yep, and what they pay Arch.
You know what? They paid him a lot, I'm sure, but I don't think money was a biggest factor in that as it is for everything else.
Hey, they're oh no, definitely not with his family, but still, 3 perfect quarterback prospect ratings ever. Texas has all 3 of them.
It's crazy. It says the University of Texas has a $31.9 billion endowment. It says SMU only has $2 billion.
So Vince Young, Quinn Ewers, and Arch Manning are the only 3 perfect quarterback recruit grades that have ever been given out in Texas.
Texas got every one of them.
Well, unfortunately, only one of them is going to probably end up winning a national championship because I think Arch Manning's going to be a bust, and I don't know what Quinn Ewers is going to do. Here's the problem Texas is facing. If Arch Manning, and me and Andy talked about this, if Arch Manning leaves high school and goes to Austin in January and checks into school, he's checking into school with the thought in his mind he's going to be the starting quarterback the next year. If he goes in red shirts and does all that, it'll make things not so bad because then he's going to sit behind Quinn Ewers for one more year. But if we get into quarterback battle, one of them's going to transfer off. Because
I think a red shirt.
If he does that, then it'll be a lot better off. But if he comes in and doesn't want a red shirt and he wants to go try to become the starter, a true freshman starter, then it's gonna sure change things up.
What were Peyton and Eli? Were they both true freshmen when they took over?
No, Peyton Manning and Brandon Stewart were in a quarterback battle. And Brandon Stewart was from Stephenville, and they were both freshmen. They fought back and forth over the deal, and they gave the nod to Peyton. I don't think Peyton started till the 3rd or 4th game because I saw a story about he went into the huddle, and he was Peyton Manning. Everybody knew who he was, but it didn't matter, and they were playing like Alabama or somewhere, and they're down, and he walked in, okay, guys, let's get going. Let's run. And some lineman said, shut the fuck up and just play quarterback, some senior lineman or something. But so I don't think he started game 1.
Appeared in 12 games with 8 starts as a true freshman.
Yeah, his first 3 or 4 games he did not start. And then Brandon Stewart transferred to A&M and was a decent player, and I think he even played in the NFL a little bit maybe. But Peyton Manning, they never could win the national championship, but T. Martin wins it the next year. So,
and it says Eli was a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, I don't.
Eli wasn't near as good as Peyton.
No.
So I mean that doesn't surprise me.
The motherfucker looks like he's on the spectrum a little bit.
Have you seen that video?
Thick-tongued.
Have you seen the video of Eli and Peyton are watching film, and Eli's eating chips, and he's fucking just eating them with his mouth open and just
Eli is?
Yeah, just slow eating, and Peyton's like, dude, do you have to do that so loud? Eli's like, I'm just eating fucking chips. What do you want from me? He's like, no, that's too much. We're not doing that here. And Peyton takes the bag from him. But he is. Like, if you watch that video, that tells you everything you need to know about Eli Manning. Eating potato chips. That's everything you need to know about the guy.
And he's going to be in the NFL he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. And should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Why? Because of 2 rings?
Yeah.
That's the only reason he would be in. He shouldn't be in. There's a lot of quarterbacks.
If he goes in, Phillip Rivers should go in because Phillip Rivers was a better quarterback than he was.
I agree with you on that.
He just didn't win any reps.
I believe Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback than Eli Manning also. And I believe that there's a lot of I'm not a Dallas Cowboy fan, but Tony Romo is a better quarterback than Eli Manning.
Does Tony Romo go in?
Yeah, he didn't play.
No.
He didn't play long enough though.
Well,
you don't think Romo goes in?
No, I don't think so.
No. If Romo played another 5-6 seasons, without a doubt, Hall of Fame.
But I think he's a better quarterback than Eli Manning was. And there's been a lot of them that are. Is Michael Vick getting the Hall of Fame?
No,
I don't think so either.
Wasn't good enough.
No, I don't think so either.
He was a cultural icon. He wasn't he wasn't that good of a quarterback. Tony Romo was consistently a top 5 quarterback in the league. Pretty much every year he was playing. He just didn't play long enough. Eli Manning was never considered a top 5 quarterback. Michael Vick was never considered a top 5 quarterback.
Well, they only take 5 guys, right, at a time. And every year for the next 5 years, you're going to have a quarterback because Drew Brees and Ben Roethlisberger are going to get in at the same time. Not Phillip Rivers. Somebody else just retired too. That was really pretty good. Was it Rivers?
I don't think Phillip Rivers will get in. I think he's borderline, but I don't think he'll get in.
But if Eli gets in, he should get in. Then we've got guys. Russell Wilson's a Hall of Famer. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. Patrick Mahomes is a Hall of Famer already. If he didn't play again, he'd get in. Gil Sayers is in, so he would get in already. And
Brady,
fucking Brady, that would just give him his own building.
Brady's had 3 Hall of Fame careers.
He has 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame for sure. But trying to think if there's some other quarterbacks out there that are.
So here's Eli Manning stats: 57,000 yards, 366 touchdowns, 244 interceptions. Phillip Rivers, 63,440 yards, 421 touchdowns, 209 interceptions. So he's got less interceptions, more touchdowns, and more yards.
And will not get in, but Eli Manning will.
0 rings.
Yep.
No rings are going to hold him back. That's sad.
I think, and here's one that I will be very, very interested once he retires, because based on play in the NFL, Matt Ryan should be a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's going to make it.
He's Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning.
I don't think he can get over the 28-3.
He's better than Phillip Rivers.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
By the time his career's done,
he's sitting at 60.
And he made a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And I don't. That might hurt him though. 28-3. That'll haunt him. He's sitting.
28-3.
He's sitting right at 60,000 passing yards and 367 touchdowns, 170 interceptions. So.
And he's going to play for 5 more years.
Well, he better not. If he plays like he did last year, he won't.
I don't think he will.
He was horrible.
I think he's in a.
He didn't have any talent last year.
Yeah, he's in a much better situation.
We'll see how he does this year because I got no respect for him. I'll tell you somebody that you're going to laugh about this.
Respect.
As a player still. As a person, I don't have nothing against him, but I don't think Matt Ryan as a player right now is something to be scared of. He's been horrible the last couple of years.
I think he will.
Well, we'll see.
You got Jonathan.
You got the nickname Matt Ryan. You gotta have some respect.
Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman.
He's got great offensive line too.
I think he's got a shot at being Matt Ryan.
If he can't win it this year or do good, I'll tell you another player. You're gonna laugh your ass off at this, but when you look at his stats, it'll be surprising you. Kirk Cousins.
No.
If he plays another 5 years, his numbers are good though. He'll never be in. I agree with you.
Make it in.
But and then what's funny is someone will say, well, his numbers are so much better than Troy Aikman's were. Well, it's a different version of football nowadays, completely different.
32,000 yards, 223 touchdowns, 91 interceptions.
That's
about what Romo was.
I thought Cousins will play like another 10 years because he's only like 30, isn't he?
He's been in the league 8 years.
If he plays 8 more years, he will have another 35,000 yards. He'll be at 70,000 yards passing. And his touchdowns.
No, he's been in the league 10 years. This will be his 11th year. Which with Brady, like who the fuck knows? I mean, he was a commander in 2000. He was a Redskin in 2012. So
there you go. You got it right that time.
But like Drew Pearson, they put in the Hall of Fame. His numbers are pedestrian. Shit, but his career numbers is about what Antonio Brown would have in about 32 games now.
What blows my mind is the numbers Dan Marino put up in that era of football.
Yes.
It's just insane. I mean, that dude was crazy good.
I remember when they beat the Bears in '85. The only loss the Bears had was on Monday Night Football, and I remember watching the game, and it was like it's going to come down to Dan Marino's arm against the Bears' great defense. And the greatest defense probably in the history of football, other than maybe when Baltimore had Ray Lewis and Ed Reed.
You can bet on everything in Vegas. I wonder what the odds are that Tom Brady gets a divorce.
You had Chris McAllister, Peter Boulware.
Was Terrell Suggs on that?
Saragusa. Like that defense was stout. I think honestly, Steel Curtain and then that 1 year of the Bears. I mean, those are the only two that can even be mentioned in the same conversation as that Super Bowl with the Ravens defense.
So you think Tom Brady's going to get divorced now, Andy?
I'm just looking at what the odds are. You can bet on anything in Vegas.
So what are the odds right now?
I'm trying to find it. They say that's what the 11 days was all about. Was she was in Costa Rica and was like, "Listen, we decided as a family, you were done, and now all of a sudden you're back at it. This shit ain't gonna fly."
Well, that's a shitty.
And she makes more money than he does, so like he might
she
have to
doesn't
listen.
make more money than he does.
Yes, he does.
No,
we looked it
Yes,
up.
he does.
His,
We looked it up.
his endorsements make him a whole lot more money than she makes.
We looked it up.
What's her endorsement?
Who the fuck endorses her? She's fucking an old has-been
A
model.
lot of people endorse her. She makes more money than Brady does.
Who? What is she? What is she? What does she model now?
Fucking dollar bills, Jeff.
Still Victoria's Secret.
Fuck,
Yeah.
they got to hire fat chicks now.
Exactly. So she'll make.
She sells a bunch of coffee table books. She has a bunch of makeup deals, all kinds of stuff. Dude, the Jenner girl is a freaking billionaire off of cosmetics.
Just shit.
I know that.
The cosmetic game is where it's at.
Well, I feel sorry for Tom Brady because
Why?
there is nothing more fucking miserable than having to go home to to go home to a pissed off wife over a decision that you made that was not a smart move, a smart decision that affects her life. Because when he walked home after he said that he was going to play football again, or not walked home, when he walked in that door, all the way home, he thought, oh, she's going to fucking kill me. She'll get over this real quick. There ain't nothing he can buy her to make her happy when she's pissed. So he walks through that door, and she's like, I thought I told you that we were done and we were not going to play football anymore, and you agreed to this. And now you decide you want to play football? She goes, really? Well, you said you didn't care. I said I didn't care, but that don't mean I don't care. I fucking care.
I don't think she told him that she didn't care. I think they sat down and she said, I think they both had a discussion that he was done. But Tom Brady being Tom Brady, he wants that picture perfect. Right? I don't even know if he wants that anymore because he had that 2 years ago.
But what do you think? So you think that he just called up his agent and said, let's play football again and didn't consult with her? And then she just found out about it the day training camp started?
No, she found out about it in the tabloids like we did.
But do you think that she didn't really, she probably thought the whole time that he would change his mind before two-a-day started?
No, I think she's been pissed since February when he decided he was coming back.
And so she just said, I'm going to Costa Rica with the pool boy.
I'm going.
Here's my thing. Jester said, I feel sorry for Tom Brady.
You don't feel sorry.
The best quarterback that's ever lived.
I feel sorry for his ass.
For all his rings. I feel sorry. He goes home to a supermodel, and usually, if you're going home to a supermodel, you're probably, definitely not the best looking one in the relationship. You don't even know who's the best looking one in the relationship there.
Well, he had to deal with a pissed off wife, and I felt sorry for him because that's a bad deal. And now it's all public knowledge, so there's nothing he can do to make it up. Okay, let me ask you this: they get a divorce.
It's not public knowledge; it's speculation.
Well, but if they get a divorce, it's going to be public. It's just like everything else in the world conspiracy theory. It usually comes true. If they got a divorce, who's going to be more pressure? I would hate to be the fucker that tried to date her after Tom Brady.
Oh my God,
that would suck. He ain't gonna have no trouble finding some girl trying to be the next wife of his. No problem. But
he went from some actress that he had a kid with, actress or model that he had a kid with, to Giselle.
Yeah.
So
who did Giselle? She dated Tom Brady. She dated DiCaprio also, didn't she? And then she turned 25, and then he had to leave her.
Yeah, everybody did.
But
before 25.
But could you imagine being the next guy up in her to date her?
No, you're fucked.
I mean, what the fuck are you going to do?
You're fucked.
Here's my thing. You want to go through a hit list. It's one everybody knows. Derek Jeter. I mean, that's a black book for days. But the surprising one, dude, go look at freaking Blake Griffin.
His lineup?
Gone.
The girlfriend list.
Everything.
Right,
he dated one of the Kardashian
everything
chicks.
From models to actresses to singers to porn stars.
Let me see.
It's a long
I don't
list.
understand the porn star deal.
Lana Rhodes.
Kendall Jenner. She's up there.
Yeah.
Bryn Cameron. I don't know who she is. She looks attractive.
She's good looking, but I don't know who she is.
Carrie Klinkenborg.
She's a smoke show.
He's got a kid or two with that Bryn Cameron girl.
Kate Upton. He dated Kate Upton. Look at her. She's dating a fucking basketball player and the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. Like, come on.
She's not dating him. She's married to him.
He was locked up a couple years ago.
Yeah, well.
She's married now.
Goodness. Yeah, she married Verlander.
Yeah, who's that?
Kids. Daniela Grace. She's a smoke show.
Well, god dang, if you can make $25 million a year and you date an ugly woman, something's wrong with you.
Jesus. Have mercy. That's all it's giving me. I only got 5, but it acts like there's a lot more.
Lana Rhodes. She's a real hot porn star.
Who?
Lana Rhodes.
Lana Rhodes.
I wouldn't look her up, Andy. Your
my
search engines.
My search engine's already suspect. He's got some.
She kind of looks like Alexandra Daddario.
That is.
Oh, she's
brunette, blue eyes.
She's hot. Have you seen her in True Detective? She's hot. Yeah, Blake Griffin.
That's one of my favorite actors.
Alexandra Daddario. I don't even like Baywatch, but that was a good show, all because of her.
Who?
Yeah, I love her in Baywatch. Don't even like the movie. Love her in Baywatch.
Who dated the chick that's in
all right, so
Never Hollywood or whatever it was, that show, not Never Hollywood, about Charles Manson and then what was that
Once
show?
Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah, what's that? Margot? Was that
Margot
her name?
Robbie? She's married now.
Oh, Margot Robbie?
She's married.
I watched the show the other day about TWA Airlines. I can't remember the name of it. Man, she is a hottie and a half.
She's married to somebody.
Hey, if you like a cheap version of Margot Robbie, Samara Weaving is cheap.
And then that Presley girl too, that was in Joe Dirt.
Oh, she's in Moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Maybe.
old.
Maybe.
She's
older.
in Moms. She's in Moms. I see Mom watches it all the time.
Jamie
Lee Presley. Call me Daddy. Call me your
He
brother.
was in, My Name is Earl.
Yeah.
She's a skank version of her.
She's a hottie and a half though.
She's married.
Samara Weaving is like a cokehead version of Margot Robbie.
Jamie.
Skinny, sunken eyes.
Yeah, it's a dead giveaway.
She still looks good.
James.
Hey, before we get too far down a rabbit hole, I got a question for you, Judge. All right, so we're getting serious with this one. I hate to turn it serious, but do you think with the way that the Supreme Court has been doing everything, especially like the Roe v. Wade stuff and everything, do you think they're going to go after gay marriage?
My opinion on the abortion deal, the Roe v. Wade, was only there to try to help the Democrats during the midterm elections. That's all this is about. Because all they did was give the rights back to the states. All it did is caused a bunch of women to think that they can't go get fucking an abortion. That's what all this is all about. Gay marriage deal is never going to come to pass anyways. I don't know anywhere in the Constitution.
That's a state issue also, isn't it?
But there's nowhere in the Constitution that says marriage is just a man and a woman. It says it in the Bible.
Well, but here's what I'm talking about. When they're going after, they're going after all these precedents with the statement of states' rights. So abortion falls under states'
slavery.
Rights.
That's what that was about also back in the day.
In the civil,
but that's one of the arguments on the far left is what they're saying is, well, what's next, slavery? Well, fuck no, they're not doing that shit, and they're not going to go against interracial marriage, and they're not going to go against gay marriage. All they did with abortion was leak to precedents. It was only supposed to come out probably. I don't even know why it came out now. It all came out because of the election. That's the whole thing, because that's all people can talk about is women's rights. I don't know. I did not realize people were lined up getting abortions at Allsup's in downtown Knox City until this all came about.
What's the black Republican justice's name?
Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, Clarence Thomas. So Clarence Thomas published a thing, stating the precedent, the change of precedent for states' rights for abortion, and then started talking about gay rights, and I was like, oh no, do not do this. I was like, in my opinion, if they go after that, Republicans don't even care about gay rights anymore. Like, Logan has the best thing, and don't get me wrong, I don't consider myself full-blown Republican. independent with conservative leanings.
Oh, don't say that. You'll get a lot of fucking hate mail.
Logan,
Trust me, I know.
Logan has the best saying. He's like, I think a gay couple should be able to protect their weed with guns.
That's exactly right.
I'm like, that's a great, that's a great definition of how I look at politics. And I'm like, if you go after gay marriage, there's no win on your side, and it's only a loss, with Democrats just pissing them off more and getting them wanting to go vote.
Let me ask you this.
I think it's a lose.
Yeah, it is. And let me ask you this. Do you honestly think Nancy Pelosi gives two fucks if you're gay and you get married, if you have that right? Do you think she gives two shits?
No, but most people aren't as smart as we are.
Right. Do you think she gives two shits?
I don't think Nancy Pelosi gives two shits about anything other than what makes her money.
That's right. Amy Klobuchar, Minnesota Democrat, she don't give two shits about gay marriage or anything anyways. It's just to get votes. But you're right. The Democrats want this shit leaked out because they can go to this dumbass lady in Kansas and say, hey, listen, you can't have an abortion. Now, listen, you're 74 years old and you look like hammered dog shit. It's not like you're getting pregnant anyways. But if you want that ability to do it, you can have it. And she's like, oh, okay. And if you look at a damn abortion rally, them bitches ain't got to worry about getting aborted anyways because there ain't nobody wanting to sleep with none of them.
None of them are getting a Peter.
No.
None of them are getting laid.
But shit, probably half of them are
yeah, but that's the whole thing. And I don't care about gay marriage. I personally don't want to pay for an abortion. If you want to go get an abortion, that's between you and God. Has nothing to do with me, but don't make me pay for it. I don't want to pay for it, So that's my thoughts on those two things, but it's all about votes. Them politicians don't give two shits about nothing. We ought to be talking about what's going on in Germany right now. Them some bitches, if they turn their heat up in their house or their air conditioner below 78 degrees, they can go put them in jail. And this winter, if they use more gas than they're supposed to use, they can put them in jail. And in California right now, Governor Dumbfuck's coming out and saying, listen, don't charge your electric cars, walk to work because it's going to be hot tomorrow. That's the world we're living in. In Sweden and Norway and them places, them farmers are not able to farm because they make up too much methane gas. So they're going to starve. Well, I'd rather have some methane gas in the atmosphere and be able to eat a turnip myself.
So this says NPR.org, which don't kill the messenger. Supreme Court declares same-sex marriage legal in all 50 states. That was in 2015. The decision was 5-4. So, I mean,
I just pray that they do not bring that up, in the next session because Jeff, I mean, you can't. Here's the thing: a Supreme Court decision isn't getting leaked; it's public knowledge.
Well, no, that wasn't public knowledge yet. It was leaked. They hadn't done it. It was leaked by.
It was leaked that they were voting on it, but as soon as it got voted on, then
it's public record. But it wasn't at the time, and the whole thing you can't. It was leaked on purpose by a Democrat because this is exactly what they wanted to do. They were losing everything, and all of a sudden you got these poor women that think their vaginas are going to get abused if they can't have an abortion, And then
I've had discussions with strongly conservative women that got pissed off about that decision because they're like, I wouldn't go do it, but I think that, any woman should be, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, you do realize this didn't outlaw it, right? It just made it state by state. It gave it back to the states to decide whether they were going to do it or not. If you live in a state that outlaws it, you can go to the next state or two states over to get it, if you really want to get it.
I think it was Klobuchar, one of them dumb bitches up there said, and her I quote, poor women are having to travel completely 3 and 4 states away to go get an abortion. It's unsafe, blah, blah. Yeah, bitch, drive down to the damn drugstore down there and buy you some birth control pills. It's right around the corner. How hard is that?
Buy some condoms.
Yeah, it's not hard to not get pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, at all. But they don't think about that shit.
See, here's my thing. I'm with you. It's between those people and God if they want to get it done. So I'm not gonna say you're a shitty person for doing it, because circumstances, whatever. I just think I think it's not that hard to not get pregnant. Condoms are pretty cheap. But, but, I think it should be the state's decision. And honestly, I would highly doubt that there is anywhere in the country that you have to drive more than 2 states to get to a state that it's legal in.
Well, the silly part is not only are they arguing about that because they don't want to. It's not about women's rights. It's about just being a radical about something. Another thing is the silly notion that now men can get abortions if they need them. Well, fuck that really just solidifies your argument there. I mean, that's how stupid we have become a society that someone actually thinks a man can get fucking pregnant.
My belly's getting pretty big. Can I get an abortion?
I've been
I got 3 twins right now.
I've been 14 months pregnant before and still ain't had a fucking baby, so it don't really matter.
I can't tell. I don't know if the states have like adopted.
Florida would be the one that I would think there might be a little corner there. You might have to drive 3 states.
Texas. I mean, you got New Mexico on one side of us. New Mexico is always pretty liberal. Colorado's definitely liberal.
Kansas voted to have abortions, so that seals up the middle. Yeah. And I don't think Nebraska. They don't know what they're going to do yet. I think.
I was going to say you might have Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama. That little corner might be the only place in the country that you would have to worry about having to drive like a long distance.
If this map that I'm looking at is true, which I don't know that it is. I can't verify anything, but it looks like Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, what's that one? Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, and then Mississippi. So that little corner right there. If you live in Arkansas, you got to travel a little bit.
I don't think Alabama lets you do abortions either. I think they just passed a rule. I think when the Supreme Court made that decision, Alabama had a law right then that whatever they called 0 kill or whatever it was.
And then you've got North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
Now, New York state legislator, I think yesterday, or California, one of the whack job fucking states, just passed a deal yesterday that said you can abort your baby 2 weeks after birth. The fuck? That's murder. That ain't aborting a baby.
That's killing.
That's the kind of stupidity, though. And the same person saying yes, and if a man has a baby, he can have the same rights too. Yeah.
And people wonder why I leave Maryland every chance.
Did you see where the woman that was pregnant got a ticket for driving in an HOV lane, and she said, "No, I'm with my baby. There's 2 of us right here."
Listen, and according to her. Let her go.
Yep, and she I think she won her lawsuit there.
She should. Good for her.
But the same
according
people,
to the law,
the same people though that are fighting for her right to have that right to call that a baby are the same ones that says it's not a baby, you could abort it. So they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, if it got her out of a speeding ticket, then good for her. In New York, you can get an abortion up to and including 24 weeks of pregnancy.
That's 6 months, if my math is right.
Well, you go to 40 weeks.
So I got a question for you, Jeff. If DeSantis runs, but Trump runs too, who are you going to vote for?
Donald Trump.
Man,
but whoever,
don't do it.
But if DeSantis is the guy, I'm not going to be upset.
Just vote. Yeah, just vote for DeSantis.
No.
Vote for the guy who can actually win.
Trump can win. Hold on, we got to scrub that because we're going to get demonetized again.
I've
already demonetized this by bringing up these subjects.
No. This one we can't. For some reason, any kind of tabulation of the results.
I can just take that one part out.
But no, I'm gonna in a fair process.
No, don't even say that.
I just in a fair.
Don't even say that.
In a fair process, the asshole that the liberals hate will win easily. There's nothing good. They have lost the Hispanic vote. They have lost the black vote. You go to any black neighborhood in the country and you ask people that work, not wealthy uber black people that live in the Hamptons, but you go to a neighborhood where black people that work and stuff, and they'll tell you, fucking Donald Trump needs to be in office. You see it all the time. They're sick of this shit. The Texas border.
They haven't lost the black vote. They've lost the black voters going out to the polls. I think. Yeah. I think they've lost the excitement over, we need to stop him from getting in. Orange man bad.
So who's excited about Joe Biden? I mean, my God.
Their voting base grows.
Nobody.
Nobody.
All right, so So I have a question for you. Do you think Biden will get nominated next go around? Because I do not. I think they know he cannot win.
No, because his predecessor, the people that's calling the shots today, we'll just say the woman with the penis and her husband today got their photos put on the wall at the big house, and he was being praised by the big guy about how good a job he's done since he took over as the leader the last 2 years. He's the dumb puppet they want. They don't want no one else up there. They got a dumb puppet. Hillary's already come out and said she's not going to run.
It's not going to happen.
Who do you think it is?
I don't know who it's going to be, but it's not going to be Biden.
They won't let him. He's unelectable.
They'll give him.
He's at what's his approval rating?
They said it's going up now again.
Bernie next go around.
They'll give him some kind of racehorse tranquilizer or shit or something to get him running fast and prop his ass up.
Adderall.
Like he's going to be weekend at Bernie's again, going through his deal. He ain't going to campaign. He ain't going to do shit, and that's going to be their guy. But he's their puppet they want. Even Kamala can't be their puppet because someone would ask her a question and she would answer it back. So he is the perfect stooge to have do what he does.
He's at 44%.
So Rogan had a discussion on this on a recent podcast, and he was absolutely on Adderall. He's like, I'm pumping full of like Alpha Brain, HGH, there's everything to get him going. Whatever they put him on, he went from being senile to that second debate, he was on it. And I was like, yeah, I was like, he was on something.
Yeah,
you can tell. All you had to do was look at his eyes.
He's not even. A lot of people think he's a body double. Does some of this shit. I don't buy into that crap, but I don't know.
Adderall's a hell of a drug. Yeah. Like, I'm prescribed it. Adderall's a hell of a drug. Don't get me wrong.
Did you see?
But as senile as he was, I don't think it's doing that. They had to mix it with something.
Did you see where Jill Biden's? Are we allowed to use her name, or are we going to get in trouble for that too?
Hey, you can talk about whatever you want.
I don't know about that.
You just can't mention other things.
Okay, Jill Biden, her wealth has went from $11 million to $80 million in the last 19 months.
And she wrote a book that sold like 750 copies in a month.
Yeah. Them fucking books must have cost $2.3 million a piece. But seriously, I mean, in the people in America, the media don't cover this shit. That's our problem. It's not politicians. It's our media is not held accountable. That's the biggest problem we have in this country right now is our media. If our media would do what I'm not
250 copies in the first week is what she sold.
3 million a piece. But I mean but she is worth she's gained like $70 million in value in the last 18 months. I want to find out what kind of stock she's buying. Even my poor ass could I could have $200,000 or $300,000 now if I just putting in my 15 cents here and there like she does. But it's crazy the amount of money that the wealth, and nobody notices outside of DC. That's just, they just, we got to talk about some documents that weren't even stolen.
And going through Melania's panty drawer and commenting that Donald Trump isn't allowed to put his shit in her room. Well, fuck no, they got a fucking mansion. Would you want your wife shit in your room if you've got 17 bedrooms? Fuck no, you wouldn't.
Another funny.
Hey, I know a lot of happy couples that do not sleep in the same bedroom.
Right.
I'm sure that's them.
They have also those documents were so top secret that the Washington Post can show pictures of them on deal. So are you upset you have these top secret deals, or they're not so top secret you can just put them out on your newspaper that 6 people read a day? So
and they're like, oh, you can't declassify them. If he's the president, yes, he can. He has executive power to do that.
She can come out and declassify every fucking thing. Come out and say LBJ is the reason John F. Kennedy got shot in the head. We got aliens living in San Francisco and Nancy Pelosi's jaws. Yeah. Whatever it is, fucking tell everything. Let's fucking put it all out on the table.
So I think I said this in a podcast with you. I said it in a podcast with somebody. I seriously thought when Trump lost the election, he was going to get assassinated within 6 months to a year because the deep state would be so scared that he would just run his mouth because he doesn't give a shit about what anybody thinks.
I think he's got some poison pills. I think the same as isn't what's his name alive still? In the hole? Yeah, what's the spy's name that did it? Was it Snowden or the guy Julian Assange? They got some I think he's got a poison pill that if something happens, it's going to leak everything that's going on. And I think the deep state's scared enough of that they stay away. They just don't know.
Yeah, and technology is good enough now where you have essentially a code that you got to input, and if you don't input it in a certain amount of time, it'll send out an email blast to all media sources with whatever you want it to send. So.
What gets me is the people that are really good people that support Hillary Clinton still. And they think, oh, she would have been so good for America and stuff. What rock do you live under to see? It's so easy to define who's there for you and who's not. Lindsey Graham's a piece of shit. Mitch McConnell's a piece of shit. We know that. Jim Jordan, it seems like a really good guy that loves America. I mean, there are guys and women out there. I'll tell you a hot chick, too, is the chick from Colorado, that Bobert girl or whatever her name is. She's smoking hot. Do you not think so?
I've seen her.
Do you not think she is?
I just laugh. I tell you, you're talking about good people, and then I tell you who's the
hottie.
She's a good. She's a good one too.
She's pretty good looking,
and she smokes. She's a smoke show.
I don't. I'm gonna catch a lot of hate for this.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
I'm gonna catch a lot of hate for this.
This is when you did a Sandra Bullock. Go ahead.
AOC is hotter than her.
Let me see a picture of her. Pull it up a little more.
AOC is hotter than Bobert.
Let me see.
I'm gonna catch shit, but
why?
AOC is
Britney
hot.
Spears was a hottie,
yeah,
but
she's
a fucking weirdo.
It's just like the Garth Brooks thing. People put their personal bias.
Well, no, you were right about Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks is freaking.
People put their personal bias on these things, and then like just because they go to one side, you can't give them a compliment about anything, and that's just where we are in this world.
I will die on the hill that Garth Brooks is way better than George Strait.
Thank you very much.
I will die on the hill.
I would die on the hill if I ever had to listen to that cocksucker again.
See there? That's just exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. You can't.
He probably loved his music in the mid to late '90s, and then now he's got to be a cocksucker.
I did used to like him all the time.
Poor Ron got the nickname Roy because Jeff was listening to Garth Brooks one day.
Let me tell the story so we get it right.
Go ahead.
Okay. Me and Dad were coming hunting, just me and him. We're coming goose hunting one morning by ourselves, riding in the truck, and the dance came on, or one of the other songs, Am I Blue, or one of the songs on that first album that he had that was awesome. And
Rodeo.
No, it was the album before that, Low Fences. And anyways, Am I Blue, I think is what it was. The town colors are brown, whatever that song. Anyways, I told Dad, I said, this summit is good. The dance had just come out.
You said he was the greatest recording country music artist ever.
Let me finish what I said to him.
Exactly what you said.
I told Dad, I said, this guy is the best there is in country music right now. And I said, he's going to be as big as Elvis Presley before he gets done. I said, he's that good. Everything he touches is good. And my dad's exact words were, God damn it, Jeff, let me tell you something right now. He ain't no Roy Clark. And I go, Roy Clark? Dad's old friends with Roy Clark. Yeah, Roy Clark. I said, Roy Clark, he ain't shit. God damn, he is too. He plays in Las Vegas. I said, yeah, Dad, because the only people want to listen to him is a bunch of old blue hairs. Now I'm 20 years old, so we and Dad argue the whole time. So we're putting the decoys out, and he goes, "Is this the way you want to do them?" I said, well, "That's the way Roy Clark could do them." God damn it, Jeff! I'm telling you right now, I've had enough of this shit. So my dad, I started nicknaming him Roy. My dad had one of my friends that he really does not like, and one of my friends he really liked. My friend that he doesn't like comes by the house, and he calls my dad Roy. Dad goes, "Fuck you, Chuck." This guy, and I'll never forget it. Then, so we all started calling Dad Roy. Dad goes in the grocery store in Wichita Falls. He's a fireman still, wearing his uniform, and he's walking through the produce section. And somebody goes, "Hey, Roy." And Dad goes, "Hey, fuck you." And turns around and looked. The produce manager's name was Roy, and somebody was saying something to him. So hey, I defended Garth Brooks on his first album. His second album was damn good too. When he turned to Chris Gaines and I saw him on Oprah wearing fucking pajamas and crying and reading a book, that ain't no country singer.
All that bullshit does not take away.
He put good music out after Chris Gaines as himself.
What song?
Chris Gaines was just him trying to fool the public. Like he didn't want people to know that he was Chris Gaines. It was obvious.
What songs?
It's just a bad wig. You're not that invisible.
Did he have?
Just a bad wig and a soul.
What songs did he have that was good after he become Chris Gaines? Name one.
He had a few. I mean,
a few.
I don't even remember the time frame on Chris. Dude, that was like my early childhood. But
okay.
I mean, still, like, I mean. I try and I know he's a liberal piece of shit now, but like I try to separate art from artists. If I didn't, most athletes I would.
Well, and actresses and actors, and just that's not uncommon.
I will say this.
Like when he's going, operator, won't you put me on to my love down the band.
That was Garth Brooks. That wasn't fucking Chris Gaines. Okay. That was before that shit. That's before he got.
But he only did Chris Gaines for like one CD and tried to pawn it off as somebody else, and then everybody's like, that's definitely.
The poor fucker's got glaucoma. I mean, god dang, he went out with Trish Yearwood. All the hotties in the world, and that's who he ended up bed with, banging. Nope.
Did you see his first wife, though? She was no prize.
Well, he's got bad eyesight and bad taste. And I like Trish Yearwood. She's a good cook.
But that's the thing. People can't separate their bias. Oh, he's a liberal fucker. I ain't going to listen to a goddamn thing he ever had to say again. He can be the best fucking singer in the world. I ain't going to listen to a fucking thing he says.
His old music was good. Once he become a liberal fucker, his music was good.
That's all he plays when he goes to concerts.
Well, that's because his new shit sucks.
What's your opinion on Stapleton?
I can't stand that bastard.
Not listening to him either. Liberal motherfucker.
Not listen to him either. He's a liberal piece of shit.
But great voice. Great voice. Hey, Elton John and me don't think the same politically, but he's a damn good top 5 greatest singer of all time.
Are you listening to Elton John?
And performer.
I listen to Elton John. He's from England, so he's supposed to be a liberal twat waffle.
What is the deal? What is the deal with the dead bodies? I don't understand.
With Elton John?
No, the Garth. Everybody's asking. I'm not listening to Garth until he tells us where the bodies are hidden.
I don't give a shit. I don't know. Maybe they're wanting to know whose eyeballs he gouged at and he stole because his don't work. How do you?
Who he had to kill to get so famous?
I don't know what it is.
He favorite song of Garth Brooks' all time. We talked this the other day. The Dance is probably his best song ever. But I like Callin' Baton Rouge and I like Long Neck Bottle. But after that, I just not a big Garth Brooks fan.
George,
Low Places, Rodeo.
I don't like Rodeo that much.
Standing Outside the Fire.
No,
that poor retard running. That'll get you.
Andy, you cannot make fun of retarded people.
You just did.
You cannot. We're going to get demonetized now for the retard word. But I like George Strait. I'm from Texas. I'm from Texas. I like George Strait. George Strait has had 65 number 1 songs. They're all the same, but I like him. But they're good.
Okay, here's Garth. Here's Garth Brooks. I'm just
the one about passing a note. The one about passing a note in elementary school. That's about the only good song he ever.
Well, you're from Maryland. We wouldn't expect you to know much about country music.
Here we go. We've got The Dance, Callin' Baton Rouge, Thunder Rolls, Friends in Low Places, If Tomorrow Never Comes, That Summer, Much Too Young, Ain't Going Down, Rodeo, Shallow, Shameless, two Pina Coladas, Unanswered Prayers, Papa Loves Mama. It goes on and on and on.
Yeah,
I'd rather listen to Toby Keith.
2 Pina Coladas. That's getting into
that's Jimmy Buffett
the realm
shit.
of Jeff's favorite country.
Kenny Chesney? Nah, Kenny wouldn't have sung that cheesy shit.
Hell of a performer.
Beaches of Cheyenne.
I do not think he's a very good singer.
No, he's not a good singer. Neither is Willie Nelson, but he has great music. And he's a great entertainer.
Well, I think Kenny Chesney's a hell of a performer.
He's a great performer.
He puts on a really good show.
But he's not a great singer. Chris Stapleton is a great singer, but I wouldn't pay 3 cents to watch a fucker play. But he's a great singer.
Yeah. So give me your Mount Rushmore shows that of all time that you would want to go to.
Of a concert?
Any genre.
Of concert? Van Halen 1978 with David Lee Roth. Van Halen 1986 with Sammy Hagar.
All Van Halen.
No, those are two.
I want to see
Guns N' Roses 1989.
Yes, that's one on mine.
Let me think. Leonard Skinner, Before the Crash.
Well, obviously.
Well, they're back playing now, but I would rather go Before the Crash. Elton John, 20 years ago.
I want to see Elton John with just a piano up there.
Billy Joel.
So we'll do a top
Billy
five.
Joel and Elton John together playing. They did a concert. That would be badass.
Yeah.
The Jackson Fives.
That's like Jay-Z and Linkin Park. I'm getting 2 of them in together.
I think that's cheating.
Dude, I tell you what, though, I would have loved to see one of those Jay-Z Linkin Park concerts.
Michael Jackson.
They make some really good music.
Michael Jackson, 1988.
How many are you at now? Are you at 17?
I was about to say. We went from Mount Rushmore, which
and then he's just pulling shit out of the air. Like, let's put Van Halen on a stage with Guns N' Roses and Axl Rose singing. It's like, fucking, let's make it realistic.
Realistic Mount Rushmore. Van Halen, 1982 with David Lee Roth. No, I'm going to go 1984 with David Lee Roth because you can get in the 84. That was a great album. Elvis Presley. 1968, 69. I would like to see Elvis Presley back to 63 or 64.
Have you watched that movie?
No, but I would like to see him in the 60s, probably early 60s. I think it would be really neat to see him. This is way off. Ray Charles in his heyday. I love Ray Charles.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Good.
I like Aretha Franklin in her day. She was really good too. I mean, there's a lot of them, but my ultimate, my Van Halen in 1984 would be my top of Mount Rushmore. Would be my concert to go to of all time, and that would be my number one. There's so many other ones I'd like to see. Groups from Gone, but Leonard Skinner would probably be number two.
See,
Def Leppard.
Like, are you wanting to see like the pyrotechnics and that
the whole fucking
shebang?
Wow. The whole shebang.
Okay.
And
I want to see it go.
Def Leppard back in the day, Pour Some Sugar on Me would have been really good. And I'm going to go as my fourth one. I'm going to go Elvis Presley back in his heyday, just because that would be an amazing show to see and to talk about, and that would be it for me.
Andy, you're closer to my age. What would you say?
I'm not in the camp of wanting to see the big pyrotechnic show. Like, if I were going to go to a show, I think it would be a much cooler show to see Kurt Cobain with just a guitar sitting on a stool.
So more intimate setting.
Yeah, something like that, or like Prince with just his guitar and just shredding on it and doing
Prince Purple Rain.
Yes,
that was like that time period. That was going to be on
with
mine.
just him, and he's up there with a guitar, and we're not doing anything flashy, but we're just going to fucking play some music and get down like that. So that's more of my type of thing. I mean, I don't fault Jeff.
You know who you would like if that's like. I've seen performances of them doing that kind of music. I think you would like Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
Doing stripped down acoustic stuff just in coffee shops and bars and everything. That dude is stupidly, incredibly talented.
Yeah.
And then our little Irish or whatever ginger friend,
Ed Sheeran. I love Ed Sheeran.
Dude, that dude on an acoustic guitar just covering songs is amazing.
That's what I like. That's my whole thing. When other artists play other people's shit and put their own twist on it, I love that. So like having Ed Sheeran just get up there by himself and do covers all night, I'd be in heaven. I'd love it.
So him and I can't remember the guy's name. They did an acoustic. This was like they were just busking in the streets over in the UK. And they did a acoustic like smash up of No Diggity and Thrift Shop.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, so it's like gotta get down with the get down.
I think I might have seen that on actually. Yeah, I think I have.
It's pretty bad.
I have. That's the best part about like Instagram right now is the reels, because like they do mashups, so it'll be different songs to different beats. They got Tupac singing a song, and I think it's to a 50 Cent beat.
Well, I mean, but this is literally. I mean, they're playing and singing all at the same time. It's like it's pretty badass.
I understand what you mean.
Dude, I tell you a show that I was this close to going because they come to the Delaware State Fair like a lot. Big and Rich.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Big and Rich
was good.
On author, and when they had Cowboy Troy popping and who was the little hit girl? Gretchen Wilson. Mm-hmm. So Gretchen Wilson and Cowboy Troy were touring with them, doing a bunch of shows with them. That was a hell of a show, and that was when Big and Rich was.
I remember that.
She wasn't no redneck girl.
They were. Did they ever do anything other than that one album? That one album, Big and Rich.
Big and Rich? No, their second album was even better than the first one.
I don't remember that.
Probably didn't sell as much, but every song on the second one, it was Coming to Your City.
Okay.
Every song on that album was a banger. The first one was really good too. Horse of a different color.
I'll tell you two people that I didn't see that I'd like to see in concert, and you're going to laugh your ass off at this. Actually, three. First one is Morris Day and The Time. I would have loved to watch them back in the day, back when Prince was first coming up. Second one is Bobby Brown. Every Little Step You Take. That would have been a badass concert to go to. I'd have been all about that. That would have been badass. And there's a third one. I can't think of who the hell it was. Somebody else that was way off that I've seen. Oh, I'd like to see Kiss back in the day. Just because of the whole atmosphere, and I think that would have been really cool.
Big show.
I regretted not seeing them at the Houston Stock Show about 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah, but I don't know that you want to do that. You don't want to remember the guys as like a bunch of old has.
Well, that's what, like, to go see Van Halen or like, to go see Motley Crue right now.
Right.
Did you have the guy that was telling us about that? He worked a soundstage with Vince Neil and them. Says breathing all the time. Trevor, just get up and leave.
I think his AirPods died, but my camera died.
Your camera died?
My camera died?
No, ours did. Andy's did. But I'm trying to think of who else I'd like to see. Oh, Waylon and Willie back when they toured together would have been cool too. There's a lot of good stuff. I like music, and I like all kinds of music. My list right now of someone to go see that I have not seen is I would like to see Kid Rock. And Michelle wants to go see Bob Seger. So we're going to probably go see Bob Seger if he plays somewhere. We'd like to go do that next year.
I tell you, and you'll probably laugh at me for this, but there's two pop acts, two female pop acts that I would really love to see in concert.
So, you hear that noise?
Yeah.
It's Trevor's deals, I think. I think it's your iPods or your earbuds.
Yeah, hold on there.
Oh. My camera died. I didn't have it all the way charged, but you know.
Can you hear us?
He can hear us. I've got him turned down. Just a little bit till he figures it out.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're good.
That's better now.
You're good now.
We're good.
Oh.
So who would you like to go see now? Right said Fred?
I tell you, there's two that I would like to see, and it would be Billie Eilish and Lady Gaga.
Who? Who's the first one?
Billie Eilish and Lady Gaga.
Who's Billie Eilish?
And I would like to see Billie Eilish in a small setting, not a stadium.
I don't even know who that is.
She did. So a song that you would know is she did.
You watched the last
James Bond movie.
The last James Bond movie.
Yeah, I did, but I don't remember any music.
Opening. Oh my fuck! You just gave me Adele. Adele in a private setting would be phenomenal.
Adele in a small setting would also be amazing, especially now that she looks good.
She does look good. She's a smoke show now. Lady Gaga's good.
She was dating Rick Paul.
Yeah, she's married. Yeah, I think she's married to him, isn't she?
She married him?
I think so.
Oh dang!
I do.
LeBron's buddy.
I think so. She's getting down, but she's a smoke show. Everybody's giving her hell for losing weight, but
I think she looks great.
Fuck yeah, you go, Adele. So you said Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga, when she strips her radio versions down and just plays them on the piano and slows them down, it's amazing. Like, she did a version of Poker Face that was just absolutely insane in concert. Just her on the piano playing and singing. It's amazing.
Who was she in House of Gucci?
She was the main lady.
Was she? Okay.
She was. Yep.
That's a great movie.
I got caught, so I was watching House of Gucci we were flying somewhere, and anyway, the system crashes.
It's in Puerto Rico.
We're going to Puerto Rico. The system crashes right at the fucking sex scene where he throws her over the table and is just railing her. Well, the system comes back on, and I go to watch this movie, and that's the first thing that pops up is her getting nailed on the table. And I'm like, God damn it. I'm trying to fast forward it.
Mine.
I'm trying to fast forward it because people can see what you're watching. You know, it's just on a big screen and the headrest in front of you, and people are looking at me, and I'm like, I didn't rewind
the airlines ought to fix that? Because I watched Caddyshack going to Minneapolis the other day when we flew up there, and they got to where the Chevy Chase was boning the chick, or the kid golfer was, and I was like trying to fast forward. I wouldn't be coming up looking over my phone watching golf porn. That is one of the. That
was very awkward, though.
We want to do Mount Rushmore. That's one of the best comedy shows ever.
I think Chevy Chase would go on the Mount Rushmore of overrated.
He's not a good actor, but he's been in great shows.
I think he's overrated.
You don't think Christmas Vacation's good?
The original Hangover's got to be on there.
Hangover's definitely on there, and so is Wedding Crashers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel, Jeff? That these are our generation shows.
They're good. They're good. That's about the only thing y'all got because you can't. Nothing else about y'all's generation's worth of shit.
But we haven't made a good one in a while because it was Wedding Crashers, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, and Hangover, and that was all mid 2000s, and we haven't made a good comedy.
They don't make anything good that's funny anymore.
I don't know. I think the movies in general, other than like the superhero stuff, which I don't really give two shits about, other than those superhero shows, I don't think much is done well.
Even the comedies they do now, like they're supposed to be funny. Like Coming to America, the first one was really funny. The Amazon Prime Coming to America 2, it sucked balls. It was horrible.
It got panned.
It should have.
Like, nobody liked it. But the thing is, with comedy, the stuff that got made even 10, 15 years ago can't get made today. No. It's just everybody's too sensitive.
Yeah, they've ruined comedy for good. I'll tell you the last funny movie they've made in a long time, or one that I think's funny, and it's old too, was freaking Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins. I thought was funny as hell.
Barbershop was good.
Barbershop was good. There's still some funny black shows out there, but there's nobody white that makes any good comedies anymore at all. But
those were all older than the ones that we were talking about. I mean, Barbershop definitely.
Yeah, Barbershop was like 2003, 2004, maybe.
Early, yeah.
But I don't remember the last good comedy that come out that I watched. I thought, man, this is really funny. Because now the comedy they have is stupid as shit, most of it.
I think Kevin Hart might have.
Even his movies aren't that good, though.
That's what I'm saying. It's Adam Sandler comedy. Like, you have to enjoy his absolute stupid comedy, which, I mean, a lot of Will Ferrell stuff is stupid too, but like.
It was funny, though.
Yeah, I enjoy it better than Adam Sandler stuff. I liked Waterboy and I liked Happy Gilmore, but that was about
fucking
it.
Dodgeball's funnier than anything today.
Oh yeah, Dodgeball.
Yeah,
good.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, but they don't make shit like that no more because people are. You know why? Because Dodgeball's a thing of the past. Because all these pussies raising kids now never knocked them upside the head with a ball before. What a great sport Dodgeball is.
Dodgeball is still relevant because every year they still put on ESPN
The Ocho. Fuck. How did they ever do that? There was something I was watching and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I tried to watch the new Kevin Hart show on Netflix. It wasn't that good. I made like 20 minutes and he told
Me Time?
Huh? Me Time, yeah.
Was it Me Time? I kind of like it.
I made it about 20 minutes and then I just had other shit to do. It's got to be a really, really good show because I'm pretty busy, and if it doesn't get my attention, I'll just abandon it and I won't come back. Like I meant to come back to Terminal List, and I never have done it.
Couldn't get into it.
Game of Thrones has my attention right now.
Yeah, I watch it every Sunday night, and then I've been watching. I'm into the superhero stuff, so like I watch She-Hulk either every Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night. Like I get it.
Please take this out.
You watch what?
She-Hulk.
Oh, I don't watch
Trevor,
What's that on?
Trevor's better than this.
What's that on?
Disney Plus.
Oh.
It's dude. She-Hulk got around. She bangs on every superhero.
You don't want to piss her
Iron
off,
Man,
though.
Captain America, Thor.
She'll just crunch her pussy down and rip your dick off if you piss She-Hulk off.
We just were talking about her, me and Payne yesterday, and he goes, that looks like it's stupid. I said, thank God there ain't one dumb son bitch I know will probably watch that shit. Now Trevor, less than 24 hours later, I love She-Hulk. We're just talking about it. I never would have thought that.
I watch the entire Marvel universe. If you let one show go or one movie go, you lose a bunch, especially a bunch of like Easter eggs and everything.
The only superhero movie that I like is Iron Man. The only one. The other ones I can't stand. Not. I mean, they're okay, just not really my deal. And I'm embarrassed to say this, but Transformers is really was a good series. And I watched a movie with Payne yesterday that I wish I would have watched a long time ago, but I didn't want to watch it because it was going to piss me off. I watched 13 Hours that Michael Bay directed, who did Transformers. about Benghazi. That is a really, really good show, and it's one of them shows that I did not want to watch because I knew it was going to really bother me emotionally. But it was a good, and you're going to really laugh at this, Trevor. But a movie that I would not watch for the longest time because it was going to upset me and make me sad is Radio. I fuck with everybody and I make fun of everybody, but I cannot stand someone to make fun of someone that they can't stand up for themselves. If you're a dumb fuck and you can't stand up for yourself, you're open season. But if you've got a mentally challenged, and Andy used the R-tard word earlier, I felt bad for Radio, but that is a good show. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
That was a fantastic.
It was a great movie, but I wouldn't watch it because I knew it was going to piss me off because nobody took up for him, and it just pissed me off. And then the little town south of us, they got their own little radio that hangs out their football field all the time.
Jeff Stanfield.
Well, he does.
Just airing people's dirty laundry.
Do they not?
I never get visceral reactions to movies because I know they're fiction. So,
but I thought Radio was a true story.
That's kind of,
it did. It made me sad. I bawled my eyes out in Radio. I bawled my eyes out. I wouldn't watch Old Yeller because I'd cry.
Did
that was the closest I've ever come to crying watching a movie.
Bawled my.
And where the red fern grows.
Yeah. Bambi, I cried when I was little, and that was the trend right there. And Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, when I was little, used to piss me off. The mother reindeers made fun of him. I'd get mad and cry every time. It hurt my feelings. My mom and dad, my dad used to always say, "Oh, Jeffrey, he can't watch them movies. He'll get all upset." Any kind of movie, the animal, and here I am made a living out of murdering animals, as everybody thinks.
Ron said, Jeff's going to be one of them faggot boys. One of them fairy boys.
Tender-hearted. But Radio,
see,
now it's radios.
I never cried over movies, but dude, like when I was young, like sporting events were life and death. Mm-hmm. When the Patriots lost in the Super Bowl, I was freaking bawling my eyes out. I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Well, you didn't have to cry very many times. If it makes you feel better, because they won a whole lot more than they lost.
Yeah.
I used to cry when the Cowboys won.
So on Tropic Thunder, I guess they missed the boat because Cuba Gooding Jr. did not win an Academy Award for Radio.
Well, that's hard to believe because what a performance! He won one. He won one though with when he played baseball or football.
Best support
for the Cardinals, and when he was a wide receiver. And
Show Me the Money.
Show Me the Money. He won one, I think.
What is that? Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, Jerry Maguire.
Because in Tropic Thunder, they say if you go full retard, you'll win an Academy Award.
Well, he damn sure did do that.
No, they said don't ever go full retard.
Don't go full retard? I thought they said go full retard.
Don't ever go full.
Because I thought Tom Hanks went full retard.
No, they said don't ever go full.
Don't go full.
That was the problem. Yeah, that was the problem. Why that dude's career went down the hole is because he went like full on in a performance that he was given.
Well, maybe that would make sense.
So did Dustin Hoffman.
Rain Man.
Yeah, another great show.
Rain Man's a good one.
What a great acting job. One of the greatest acting jobs ever. Okay, we're going to do Mount Rushmore. Before we get here, we're going to do one more. Greatest characters on TV, top 4. And I'm going to give you mine. On TV
or
no,
television.
a series. Can be Netflix, anything. First, the best character ever is Frank Gallagher. Is the best series ever. Second one is Anthony Soprano or the guy, Walnuts. What's his name? The guy that just died the other day that played on there. Had the wings. What was his name? Paulie Walnuts is a great one. But I'm gonna have to go with Anthony Soprano. So Frank Gallagher, Anthony Soprano, Cosmo Kramer.
Yeah,
was a great character, and I'm forgetting about somebody else that was also a great. The black guy that plays on The Wire. Well, he plays a great part too, and I can't think of his name. The deputy, the one that drinks all the time, and he has a great character in that show. But those are probably I would say, but Frank Gallagher by far I think is the best character on TV ever. Who are yours?
I mean, I liked Rescue Me. I like The Shield, The Office. I mean, you can take Seinfeld's really good.
Character, one person.
Yeah, I mean, you could take Dennis Leary from Rescue Me.
He was very good.
Take Michael Chiklis from The Shield.
Never seen that.
You never watched The Shield?
Never watched The Shield.
Oh my God, go watch it. Seinfeld or Kramer. Those are both good guys.
Not Jerry Seinfeld.
Michael Scott, Dwight was really good on The Office. Michael Scott's actor said they would not make it today. It's too politically incorrect.
Yep.
I think those people are kidding themselves because I think if someone did a show like that and the networks would let it be on, people would watch it like crazy.
I don't think so.
The networks wouldn't let it be on. That's why they couldn't make it.
It would get canceled.
But because of the networks, not because it wouldn't have a following that people would like.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why Netflix and them are so popular right now, because they have shows on that aren't politically correct that people like.
That's what's going to be interesting to me. So, like right now, we're in this, anybody can have a penis era, anybody can have an abortion. You can't be any color that you want to be. But it's going to be interesting to see what the shows are like in 20 years, because the rubber band's going to snap back. It always does. So when that rubber band snaps back, what are we going to...
They're going to make a new Blazing Saddles.
Might be. I didn't really answer the TV series.
You laughed at that. Trevor, what's yours?
I couldn't really answer the TV series one, though, because...
Best characters on TV?
Man, I tell you what. Saul Goodman.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh,
Walter
good one.
White.
Yes. Very good.
What did he change his name into for Breaking Bad?
Oh, it was.
No,
was Saul.
It was Saul
he changed
Goodman.
it.
What was his original name?
I can't remember. He's a great character, though. Better Call Saul. That's a great series.
Jimmy McGill.
He was my favorite character in Breaking Bad.
Jimmy McGill.
Yeah, Jimmy McGill. That was it. Yeah, so Jimmy McGill / Saul Goodman. Just because I watched this show from pilot till the end weekly for 13, 14 years. Dean Winchester.
Who?
Supernatural.
I've never seen it.
Supernatural.
It was a CW show.
No, I've never seen it.
Hey, did you watch... Fuck, I can't remember it now.
Hey, do you watch The Boys?
No, I've seen that on Amazon Prime, though. This is another... Riverdale. Did you watch Riverdale?
One of the characters. No.
We watched the first two seasons were really good. Third season, it starts getting a little weird.
Did Luke Perry play on that while he was dead?
So that was based off of Archie.
Yes, Archie.
Right?
Yep. It's the first season is really, really good. Supernatural's got Jeffrey Dean Morgan. You get in The Walking Dead, there's some good characters on The Walking Dead.
He was their dad.
He was on Supernatural.
Yeah, he was Sam and Dean's dad. But did you ever watch the remake of My Bloody Valentine?
No. What's it on?
Okay. So that guy, it was a while ago, but that's the guy who plays, and then the guy who plays Dean Winchester is in The Boys too. He's like this new character in The Boys for the last season.
Is that pretty good?
I haven't watched it. I just saw that he was in it, and it's basically everybody's making fun of it. They're like, it's Dean Winchester if he could actually have cussed on in Supernatural. Because basically, the extent of their cussing was son of a bitch. That was about it.
I'll have to check out.
On Amazon, they're dropping F-bombs and everything.
That's the thing about now I'm all into House of Game of Thrones. Fuck, there's 8 seasons. I'm never gonna get through it. Hunting season's coming up. It'll be next year before
I'm on House of Dragon now, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm a long way from
Okay, so the midget dude.
Yes.
In Game of Thrones.
You got on to us for saying Artard, and you said midget.
You can say midget.
Little people.
Little person.
The little guy.
Little person.
Which they're way worse to him on Game of Thrones than we ever are. They call him. They're terrible to him.
Well, yeah, back then they weren't politically correct.
Do what?
That is one of the best TV characters ever. He was so good.
Is there a bunch of hot chicks on that show?
All they do is fucking fight. That is it. That's
Tyrion Lannister.
So,
I'm pretty sure that was his name.
So you're not letting the boys watch this then?
No, it is.
It's that raunchy?
Oh my god! Yeah,
I'm gonna have to watch it then.
One of the hottest girl, Khaleesi, she gets sold into her marriage.
I've watched 3 episodes and I just didn't need it.
Body double.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, that ruined it.
Hey, did you know the chick?
I'm done watching.
The chick in Pam and Tommy Lee sex tape. That chick. Those were computer generated titties on her.
So that's what they did to Khaleesi?
No, she had a body double.
With the good.
It was someone who kind of looked like her, and they would get naked for her.
Well, that's frustrating.
Tony graduated with a girl that was in a movie that did that. She was a body double for Sybil Shepherd. I don't think she was naked. She swam in the lake, but didn't show nothing. But
My problem is I'll turn it on and then I'll start editing a podcast, and then like 7 minutes has gone by and I am totally lost.
Uh-oh.
And I just turn it off.
Yeah, see, I'm watching House of the Dragon, which is like 200 years before Game of Thrones.
Right.
So I'm like 3 episodes in now. That it comes out every Sunday. But it's pretty good so far.
All the old timers that are listening to this podcast are like, well, them some bitches are some fucking geeks.
Game of Thrones is like the most successful show in the history of shows. So
well, I know, but old people like me have not watched it. So
MASH was good. How about it?
And
MASH was good.
I got to add a fourth to make my Mount Rushmore, and I haven't watched it, but just off of all the talk, I'd probably have to go with Tony Soprano.
That's good.
You've never seen The Sopranos? Oh, you've got to watch it. It's great. I can send you the DVD collection. I still have it too.
It's on HBO Max.
What is that noise?
That's his earbud.
I tell you, I wanted to. There's only one show on it. I guess it's Showtime or whatever. But I want to watch the new Dexter because I was a big Dexter fan.
Your earbud's acting up again.
Hold on.
I think it's going out.
Yeah, we've been on 2 hours.
No shit. They're not meant to last that long. The poor things.
Good now?
Yep. Perfect. I watched 4 or 5 seasons of Dexter. It was really good.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the original series was good. I just wanted to watch the spinoff, but it's on something I'm not going to pay for just to watch it. Yeah.
That's kind of how I am with everything. All right, let's get out of here. We've got to do the pick'em with you, so we'll wrap this up and then we'll do the pick'em. It has been over 2 hours. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and have a great weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out all of our great sponsors. Go check out Dive Bomb Industries, Boss Shot Shells, Dirty Duck Coffee, Pacific Calls, Gundog Outdoors, Shin Gear Waders, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Duck Club Podcast, Alpha Outdoor Specialties, Bangtail Whiskey, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Dirty Duck Coffee, Ducks Unlimited, and Double T British Kennels.